Michael J. Fox has been one of the most recognizable actors of his generation, celebrated for his breakthrough role in Back to the Future, and admired for the way he transitioned from Hollywood fame into a life defined by resilience, advocacy, and openness about his health journey. Over the years, he has lived with Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurological condition that he was diagnosed with at a relatively young age, and instead of stepping completely away from the public eye, he gradually chose a different path, one centered on awareness, honesty, and support for medical research. As time has passed, his physical challenges have become more visible, and yet his voice has remained steady, often reflecting acceptance rather than fear. At 64, discussions around his condition tend to resurface in the media, sometimes framed in dramatic language, but the reality of his life is far more grounded. It is a story of long-term adaptation, family support, and determination to continue contributing meaningfully despite physical limitations. Rather than breaking silence in any sudden or shocking way, Fox has spent decades speaking about his experience in interviews, books, and through his foundation, which has raised significant funding for Parkinson's research worldwide. His journey highlights how public figures can reshape the narrative around chronic illness by refusing to hide it completely and instead integrating it into their identity without allowing it to define their entire existence. He has often described the importance of humor and gratitude in managing daily challenges, emphasizing that while the condition affects movement and coordination, it does not erase purpose, creativity, or emotional strength. Those who follow his story closely understand that what may appear as admission from the outside is actually a continuation of a long-standing openness he has maintained for years. In many ways, the public perception of what we all suspected is less about hidden truth and more about witnessing the natural progression of a condition that has been openly documented. What stands out most is not decline, but endurance, the ability to remain engaged with life, family, and advocacy work even when simple tasks require greater effort than before. His foundation has become one of the most influential organizations in Parkinson's research funding, helping accelerate scientific understanding and potential treatments, which reflects a shift from personal struggle to collective impact. Fox's life also illustrates how fame can evolve into responsibility, where visibility becomes a tool not for attention but for awareness. Even as his mobility has changed, his perspective has often been described as clear and optimistic, focusing on what can still be done rather than what has been lost. At 64, his story is less about revelation and more about continuity, a public life that has gradually transformed into one of advocacy, resilience, and steady contribution. It serves as a reminder that aging with a chronic condition is not a single moment of truth revealed, but a long process of adjustment, acceptance, and ongoing effort to live meaningfully within new limits.